Hi, everyone. This is Miranda Ward with the Valuable Voices. Thank you for jumping on today. I'm excited. Another one Tammy brought me. I'm excited to introduce you to Michelle Ruddell. Thanks for being on today.
For having me.
Yay. So, yeah, let's jump right in. I want to hear you kind of just share a little bit of your story.
Okay. My name is Michelle. I am a retired teacher who's back to work teaching. I retired and then went back part-time, and I'm enjoying that. My story, the main focus of my story is that joy and sorrow can coexist. And I learned that when my 5-year-old son, Matthew, was killed in a car wreck when he was 5 years old. It was in 1992. And um, before that car wreck, I'd gone through a divorce and a remarriage, and it was not a good situation. It was not a safe situation, but I was scared to do anything, scared to make a change. Then we had the wreck. When we had the wreck, I was 12 weeks pregnant with my daughter. My son was 5. My son was killed. My husband spent 2.5 months in the hospital. I worried the whole time that I would lose the baby, but I did not.
Mm.
Um, and God worked through that wreck in so many ways. I was not walking with the Lord at that time. And I had kind of turned my back thinking, I've messed up too bad. I can't be forgiven. I can't come back. I've done too many things wrong. God would never take me back. But then I laid on the hospital bed in that emergency room, knowing that my son had died. My husband was in the next room in critical condition. And I was scared to death I was going to lose the baby I was carrying. And I cried out to God in desperation. And he heard my cry. He answered me. Um, he walked me through that very dark and very scary time. My husband survived. He was in the hospital 2.5 months. Um, we had the wreck in December. My daughter was born in May, perfectly healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And the timing of all that was so, I love the way God orchestrated that because I had lost my son. I did not want to take care of myself, but I was pregnant. And so I
Yeah.
had to.
Yeah.
We did not want to do Christmas, birthdays, any kind of celebration after that. But we had the baby and it was her first of everything.
Yeah.
And God used that to show me that joy and sorrow can coexist. You don't have to be all one or all the other. At the same time, we were still grieving the loss of our son. We had this joy of this new baby. And it was a weird feeling at first to know that those two can coexist. Um, I had a neighbor tell me just days after my son's funeral, she looked me in the eye and she said, "You will never be happy again."
Wow.
And it made me angry and it scared me. I knew she had lost a son and I knew she was not a happy woman usually.
Yeah.
And so I prayed that God would help me not to be like that and not to let her words be true. And He has fulfilled that and answered that prayer. And every time I was tempted to stay angry, to stay in self pity, I mean, there are people that, they would come along and pat you on the back. Yeah, you lost your son. It's okay to be sad. And yes, it's okay to be sad, but you can't be stuck there and stay that way forever.
Yeah.
So her words challenged me to find that joy alongside the sorrow. And there are days when that grief will sneak up on you and the tears come. And I'm not saying that I'm not ever sad, but don't miss out on the joy of life because of the sorrow that's there. I've learned to practice gratitude, to be thankful for the things that I have. I've learned to ask other people for help. I've learned to reach out and help others. That's one way to get the focus off myself.
Yeah.
So many things I've learned to cultivate that joy coexisting with the sorrow. Also, that through that wreck, I learned that I didn't have to be afraid, because the worst thing that I could ever imagine happening to me had happened. I lost my son. And it was probably 2 or 3 years after that that I realized, hey, God has brought me through this. If he can bring me through that, there's nothing that he can't do. And we had the wreck in 1992. In 1997, I was able to get out of that unsafe situation and that unsafe marriage. We had 2 daughters by that time. And I was able to get out of that and keep myself and my daughters safe. So, the Bible says that weeping may last for the night, but joy comes in the morning. Mm-hmm. And it does. It comes along, and even in that sorrow, when the circumstances don't change, God can still bring that joy. It also says he works all things for good for those who love him and are called according to his purpose. And even in that deep, dark time, he can bring good out of that. We have to look for it. We have to watch for it. Sometimes we have to fight for it. The pastor that preached my son's funeral said that events like this can make us bitter or better.
Oh, wow.
And some days it's a battle.
Yeah.
Because you have to fight for that better over bitter, but it's worth it.
Wow.
It's worth it.
That is very powerful. Thank you for sharing. Oh, I can't even imagine. And gosh, even 30 years later, you're just a walking testimony, right? I'm sure there's definitely hard days, not easy days, but just really having to make that choice probably every single day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Focus on the good, the joy. And I love that you kind of took what your neighbor said and said, nope, that's not going to be me. And some people can be like, okay, this is going to be my life. I'm never going to be happy again. And you decided, you know what? I'm going to make a choice. I'm not going to be that way. And obviously God has a lot to do with that and a lot to thank for that. But yeah, definitely focusing on gratitude, because there's for sure hard days and good. But I love that message that you can be sad, but you can also be happy, like at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
Joy. So that is beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing.
That really hit home with me. We had the wreck in December, and my daughter was born in May. So we were still very close to the wreck. But still, here's this new baby, and we were so overjoyed that she was okay.
Yeah.
And that she hadn't been hurt by the wreck. So there was that. And then when December rolled around, and it was the first Christmas, really we had one Christmas before that was not even, but this was really the first Christmas after the wreck. And I remember thinking, we really have a choice here. We can curl up in a corner and cry and make this a sad Christmas, and nobody would blame us.
Right.
Or because we have this baby here and this is her first Christmas, we can get a tree and we can wrap presents and we can cook the food and we can do all the things and make it a happy Christmas. Are we going to cry because Matthew's not here? Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But are we going to be happy and celebrate because Missy's here? Yes.
Yeah.
So.
And she probably wouldn't have remembered either way, right? Because she's a baby. But I love.
Remember, but I wonder if we had let that first one be sad, then what about the next one?
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
And what about the next one? Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So.
I love that. So tell us what you're doing now. It sounds like you're speaking and kind of sharing your story. Tell us how to find you and what you're doing.
Yes. So I've been a high school math teacher for 24 years. I retired in May of 22. And they called me in December and said, we had an 8th grade teacher resign. Can you come back part-time? And I said, yes. But I am speaking and sharing that message of how joy and sorrow can coexist. Yeah. Not just with the loss of a child, but life hits us with so much. It can be a broken relationship. It can be the death of a loved one. It can be a financial setback. It can be a health issue. Yeah. so many things that hit us that cause sorrow that circumstance is not going to change. But so I'm speaking, sharing the message of how we can look for that joy and cultivate that joy and depend on God for that. And I'm writing. I have one book out, and I'm working on another one. So I'm speaking and writing and sharing the message and teaching part-time and just having a blast.
Yay, I love that. I love people that take their pain and share that message because it gives other people hope, and it just shows what God's already done for somebody else that he can do for you. So, and we all have pain, we all have hurt, whatever that is, right? And just knowing that again, consciously, we can choose to decide to focus on the gratitude and ultimately joy, right? It's just a much better
So
life.
that doesn't mean that there aren't sad days or sad minutes or sad hours or tears come. It doesn't mean those are gone.
Yeah.
But what you focus on gets bigger.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. Definitely. I love that. So where's your website? How can we find you out there?
our website is michelleruddell.com.
Awesome.
So easy to find. And
Yeah,
I have,
in there.
I don't know if you can see this, if I get it there. It's called Welcome to the Club. I'm sorry you're here. It's my book. It's Hope for Grieving Parents. It's available on Amazon.
Awesome.
So,
Thank you so
but
much.
yeah, my speaking information's on my website. I have some I'm on Facebook. I have an author speaker page on Facebook that I post stuff every day. So
Good.
yeah, look for me on Facebook. Look me up on my website.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm sure you've been such a blessing in other people that have, grieved and lost. And again, just so much hope and so much joy. Just have to focus on that intentionally. So thank you so much for sharing today. I really appreciate it.
I mean,
All right. Have a blessed day, everybody. Thanks for listening.